Lisa Wright rubbed her tired eyes as she stared at the control panel. The night shift at Luna Command was usually quiet. Most nights she just watched the screens, checked the systems, and drank too much coffee. Tonight was different. The alert came without warning. A message from deep space, carrying the official seal of the Galactic Confederation. Lisa's heart beat faster as she opened it. In her 15 years of service, she had never seen a direct communication from the Confederation's High Council. "This is odd," she muttered, tapping her finger against her coffee mug. The message was clear and to the point. After 3,000 years of peace in the galaxy, the Confederation, made up of 7 advanced alien species, had voted. The result was unanimous. They were declaring war on humanity. Lisa read the reasons twice to be sure. The aliens cited humanity's dangerous unpredictability and unsanctioned technological advancements as the main causes. They demanded Earth's immediate surrender. Lisa didn't feel fear. Instead, a small smile formed on her lips. Then came a quiet chuckle. By the time her second-in-command, Aaron Phillips, rushed into the room, she was laughing. "Commander Wright, what's happening?" Aaron asked, confusion clear on his face. Lisa pointed to the screen. "The Confederation has declared war on us." Aaron's face went pale. "War? But why would they?" "Because they're scared," Lisa said, still smiling. "And they should be." She pressed her palm against the scanner beside her chair. A hidden panel slid open, revealing a red button that had never been used before. "Commander, is that Protocol Omega?" Lisa confirmed. "Humanity has been waiting for this day for 200 years, Aaron." She pressed the button. Across Earth and all its colonies, hidden systems came to life. Deep in underground bunkers, underwater bases, and secret facilities, hidden in asteroid fields, lights began to flash. Men and women who had trained their whole lives for this moment rushed to their stations. "But the aliens, they're so advanced," Aaron said, watching as the command center transformed around them. Screens that had been dark for decades lit up, showing weapons and ships that most humans didn't know existed. "That's what they think," Lisa said. She stood up, suddenly looking taller and more confident. "That's what we wanted them to think." She walked to the main communication station and opened a channel to Earth Defense Headquarters. "This is Commander Lisa Wright at Luna Command. Protocol Omega is now active. I repeat, Protocol Omega is active." The face of Fleet Admiral Jack Donovan appeared on screen. He was already in his uniform despite the early hour. "So they finally showed their true colors," he said with a nod. "How long until their first attack?" Lisa checked the data. "Their nearest fleet is 3 days out from Mars Colony." "Perfect. Begin evacuation procedures for civilians. Military personnel will remain in place." The Admiral's face showed no worry, only determination. "Commander Wright, you will join me at Pacific Base in 6 hours for strategic planning." "Yes, sir," Lisa said. After the Admiral's image disappeared, Aaron turned to Lisa. "We're really going to fight them?" "The most advanced coalition in the known galaxy." Lisa's smile returned. "Aaron, for centuries, we've been showing them what we wanted them to see. Old ships, basic weapons, primitive tech." She gestured to the screens showing advanced vessels hidden throughout the solar system. "This is what we've been building. This is the real humanity." She looked out the window at the Earth, blue and peaceful below them. "The Confederation thinks they're about to crush a simple, weak species," she said quietly. "They have no idea what's waiting for them." As alarm systems sounded throughout Luna Command, Lisa felt strangely calm. The 3,000-year peace was over, but humanity had been preparing for war since before she was born. The aliens would learn soon enough. They had just made the biggest mistake in their long history. The meeting room was deep underwater, 5 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean. Most people on Earth didn't know this base existed. Fleet Admiral Jack Donovan stood at the head of the table, looking at the men and women who would lead humanity's defense. "The war we've been planning for has finally arrived," he said. His voice was calm but firm. "The Confederation believes they are attacking a weaker enemy. We must use this advantage." Lisa Wright had arrived from Luna Command just an hour ago. She sat next to Dr. Olivia Martinez, the head scientist who had been developing human weapons in secret for decades. "Dr. Martinez, show them what we have," Admiral Donovan said. Olivia stood up and waved her hand. The center of the table lit up with 3D images of ships, weapons, and defense systems that most of the world had never seen. "For 200 years, we've been building in secret," she explained. "The aliens think we are a Tier 3 civilization with basic space travel and simple weapons." She smiled and tapped one of the images. It expanded to show a sleek black ship, unlike any conventional vessel. "This is the reality. We reached Tier 5 technology 50 years ago, but kept it hidden. These ships can phase in and out of normal space. They can appear behind enemy vessels or inside their defense shields." Gasps came from some of the newer officers. Even Lisa was surprised by some of the designs. "Our soldiers have neural enhancements," Olivia continued. "They can process information 10 times faster than normal humans and connect directly to their ships and weapons." Admiral Donovan nodded. "And our defense systems." Olivia showed another image. This one displayed the solar system with a web of lines connecting planets, moons, and what looked like ordinary asteroids. "We can redirect entire asteroid fields to act as shields or weapons. We have bases inside moons and hollow asteroids throughout the system. Even if Earth were destroyed, humanity would survive and fight back." Lisa raised her hand. "The aliens will attack Mars colony first. Their fleet will arrive in 3 days. They expect us to defend with our old ships," Admiral Donovan said. "Captain Ryan Brooks is already on Mars with our newest vessels, hidden under the surface. When the aliens attack, they'll find only a small defense force. Then Brooks will spring the trap." The room fell silent as everyone considered what was about to happen. Humanity had lived in peace with the alien races for generations, trading and sharing basic technology, all while hiding their true progress. "Why did they declare war now?" asked a young officer near the end of the table. Lisa answered, "They noticed some of our advancements. Not the big ones, but enough to worry them. They think they can crush us before we become too powerful." "Too late," Dr. Martins said with a small laugh. "We've been too powerful for a long time." Admiral Donovan brought up a map of alien territory. "Once we defeat their first attack, we'll need to move quickly. Colonel Eric Martinez will lead a stealth team to their forward base on Titan. We need to gather intelligence on their true intentions." He looked around the room, meeting each person's eyes. "Make no mistake. This will be a real war. People will die, but we've prepared for this moment for generations." Lisa thought about her parents and grandparents, all military officers who had worked on Project Hidden Shield. They had lived their entire lives keeping secrets, building defenses that might never be used. Now, their work would save humanity. "President Samantha Powell will address the United Nations in 6 hours," Admiral Donovan said. "She'll reveal some of our true capabilities to the public. It's time for humanity to stop hiding." As the meeting ended, Lisa caught Dr. Martinez looking at a photo of her daughter. "Will we win?" Lisa asked quietly. Olivia put the photo away. "The Confederation has no idea what they've started. This won't even be a fair fight." Outside the underwater base, ocean life continued peacefully, unaware that beneath them, humanity was preparing for war among the stars. Captain Ryan Brooks stood on the bridge of his ship, hidden beneath the red sands of Mars. His crew was quiet, each person focused on their screens. The alien fleet would arrive in less than 10 minutes. "Status report," Ryan said, his voice steady despite the tension. "All ships ready, Captain," his second-in-command Susan Miller replied. "The old defense ships are in position above the colony. They look like our entire force." Ryan nodded. On the surface, a small group of outdated human ships floated in space, appearing to guard the Mars colony. They were crewed by volunteers who knew their role was to look weak and unprepared. "The aliens are entering Mars orbit," a young officer called out. 37 ships. Heavy weapons charging. "Right on time," Ryan said. He opened a channel to all hidden ships. "Remember the plan. Let them think they're winning until I give the signal." On the main screen, the alien fleet appeared. Their ships were massive, each one 5 times the size of the largest human vessel visible in space. They moved with confidence, spreading out to surround the small human defense force. A message came through from the alien commander. A tall, blue-skinned being appeared on screen. "This is Commander Vrex of the Galactic Confederation. Surrender your colony or be destroyed." The captain of the human decoy fleet responded just as planned. He sounded scared, his voice shaking as he begged for mercy. The alien commander laughed. "You have 5 minutes to evacuate your leaders. Then we will open fire." The screen went dark. Ryan checked the time. Below in the Mars colony, civilians were already safe in underground bunkers. Some had been evacuated days ago. The colony appeared busy and unprepared, but it was all for show. 3 minutes, Susan said. Ryan felt strangely calm. Humanity had trained for this moment for generations. His own father and grandfather had served in the secret fleet, never seeing actual combat, but always ready. 2 minutes. He thought of President Powell's speech to the United Nations. By now, people on Earth would know the truth about humanity's hidden strength. Some would be angry at being kept in the dark. Others would be relieved. 1 minute. "All ships, prepare phase drives," Ryan ordered. "Target assigned enemy vessels only. We need to capture at least 3 ships intact for study." The alien fleet opened fire. From space, it looked like the human ships were being destroyed easily. In reality, the decoy ships were empty, controlled remotely. "Now," Ryan said. Beneath the surface of Mars, 20 advanced human ships activated their phase drives. They vanished from normal space, slipping into a dimension the aliens couldn't detect. An instant later, they reappeared behind and among the alien fleet. "Open fire," Ryan ordered. The battle was not fair. The aliens had no defense against ships that could appear inside their shields. Human weapons cut through alien hulls with ease. The advanced targeting systems found weak points immediately. Ryan watched as alien ships exploded or drifted powerless in space. His own fleet moved like dancers, phasing in and out of normal space, impossible to hit. "Captain, they're trying to retreat," Susan reported, sounding almost disappointed. "Let 5 ships escape," Ryan ordered. "They need to tell the others what happened here." In less than 15 minutes, it was over. The mighty alien fleet that came to destroy Mars colony was defeated. 17 alien ships were destroyed. 15 were captured intact. 5 fled in terror. Ryan looked at the damage report. Not a single human had died. "Send word to Earth," he told Susan. "Tell them Mars is secure. The aliens will think twice before attacking us again." As the human ships rose from beneath the Martian surface, Ryan allowed himself a small smile. The aliens had expected to find sheep. Instead, they had found wolves in sheep's clothing. And the hunt was just beginning. Colonel Eric Martinez and his team moved silently across the frozen surface of Titan. The moon's thick orange atmosphere helped hide them from alien sensors. Even so, they wore special suits that bent light around them, making them nearly invisible. "Alien base is half a mile ahead," Eric whispered into his comm. The sound traveled to the 5 soldiers with him, but nowhere else. "Remember, we need information more than we need kills." The aliens had established their forward command post on Saturn's largest moon years ago. They claimed it was for scientific research. Now humanity knew better. Eric checked his scanner. It showed 30 alien life forms inside the base. Most were Khazar, the most warlike of the 7 Confederation species. His team could handle them if needed, But that wasn't the mission. "There's a data center on the east side," said Kate Bell, his tech specialist. "Minimal guards. That's our target." The team moved forward, their boots leaving no prints thanks to their gravity adjusters. As they approached the base, they saw its true size. The visible portion was small, but sensors showed vast chambers beneath the surface. "They've been preparing for War II," Eric said quietly. The base's security was designed to stop conventional attacks. It didn't detect 6 humans with technology beyond what the aliens thought possible. Eric's team reached an airlock, and Kate connected her device to the alien control panel. "Give me 30 seconds, she said. 25 seconds later, the door slid open. No alarm sounded. The team entered and sealed the door behind them. Inside, they moved through dimly lit corridors. Twice they froze as alien guards walked past, unable to see the human intruders standing feet away. The data center was a large room filled with glowing servers. One Khazar technician sat at a control station, its 4 eyes focused on a screen. Kate moved forward alone. She placed a small disc on the back of the alien's neck. It slumped forward, unconscious but alive. "I need 10 minutes, she said, connecting her system to the alien computers. Eric and the others formed a protective circle, weapons ready. In their ears, they could hear occasional updates from Earth. The war was spreading across the solar system. Humanity was winning every battle so far. "I've got something," Kate said suddenly. "You need to see this." Eric moved to her side and watched as information filled her screen. "The Khazar were behind this war," Kate said, her voice tight with anger. "The other 6 species didn't want to fight us. The Khazar convinced them we were dangerous." "Why?" Eric asked. Kate pulled up more data. "Fear, pure fear. Look at these projections they made." The screen showed humanity's growth and advancement over the next century. The Khazar estimated that humans would surpass the entire Confederation in less than 50 years. "They're afraid of what we might become," Eric said. "There's more," Kate continued. "They have detailed files on all 7 Confederation species, their strengths and weaknesses. The Khazar have plans to control them too, not just us." Eric made a quick decision. "Download everything. We need to get this to Strategic Director Foster immediately." As Kate worked, Eric opened a secure channel to Earth. "This is Colonel Martinez. We've confirmed the Khazar manipulated the other species into war. Sending data now." Back on Earth, Nicole Foster received the transmission in her command center. She reviewed the information quickly, her mind already forming a new strategy. "We don't need to fight all 7 species," she told her staff. "We need to isolate the Khazar and show the others the truth." She called up a map of Khazar territory. Their homeworld was well protected, but they had a critical weakness. Their main fleet base was located in a system with only one hyperspace entry point. "Prepare a strike force," Nicole ordered. "We're going straight for their military heart." On Titan, Eric's team finished their mission and slipped away, leaving no evidence they were ever there. The sleeping alien would wake with a headache and no memory of what happened. The counteroffensive was about to begin. Ambassador William Cortez stood before the large screen, facing representatives from 6 alien species. His office on the moon had been quickly converted into a diplomatic center. The walls, once bare, now displayed evidence gathered from Titan. "We did not start this war," William said simply. "The Khazar lied to you all." The alien faces showed different reactions. The Orvani representative, a tall being with silver skin, leaned forward. "These are serious claims, human," she said. "The Confederation has stood united for 3,000 years." William nodded. "And we respected that peace. But look at these documents yourself." He sent the files that Colonel Martinez's team had recovered. The aliens reviewed them in silence. William waited patiently. Behind him stood Dr. Frank Collins, Earth's best xenolinguist, ready to clarify any translation issues. "The Khazar told us humans were building planet-killer weapons," said the Tellurian representative. his plant-like face shifting colors as he spoke. "A lie," William replied. "We built defenses, yes. Any species would after seeing the power of the Confederation. But we never planned to attack anyone." The meeting continued for hours. Outside, the war raged across the solar system. Human ships were pushing alien forces back at every front. The news from Mars had shocked the Confederation. They had expected an easy victory over primitive humans. "The Khazar are not responding to our questions," the Orvani representative finally said. "This is troubling. They can't respond because they know we've exposed their lies." Dr. Collins said, stepping forward, "We've studied your languages and cultures for centuries. We know the Khazar have always been the most aggressive among you." The aliens conferred among themselves in their own languages. William and Frank waited. This moment could change everything. Finally, the Orvani spoke again. "We will withdraw our forces from human space while we investigate these claims." "As will we," the Tellurian added. One by one, 4 of the 6 species agreed to a temporary ceasefire. Only the Durax and Vex remained loyal to the Khazar. After the aliens left, William turned to Frank with a smile. "It's working. The alliance is breaking apart." On the other side of the solar system, Strategic Director Nicole Foster received the news of the diplomatic breakthrough. She updated her plans immediately. "The Khazar will respond with full force now," she told her staff. "They can't afford to let the other species learn the full truth." She was right. Reports came in of fighting among the alien fleets. The Orvani ships were turning against the Khazar vessels. The Confederation, peaceful for thousands of years, was now at war with itself. Nicole opened a channel to Fleet Admiral Donovan. "Sir, it's time for the next phase. The Khazar are vulnerable while they deal with their former allies." Donovan's face appeared on screen. "Agreed. The EDS Indomitable is ready. We'll strike directly at their military headquarters." "What about their homeworld?" Nicole asked. "Not yet," Donovan replied. "President Powell wants to maintain the moral high ground. We target their military, not their civilians." As Nicole coordinated the attack plans, new information arrived from human scouts. The Khazar were moving their reserve fleets toward Earth. They were committing everything to one massive assault. "They're desperate," Nicole realized. "They know if they don't defeat us quickly, they'll lose everything." She sent orders to all human forces. Earth's hidden defenses would be fully activated. The Khazar thought they were launching a surprise attack. Instead, they were flying into a trap. As night fell over Earth, millions looked up at the stars, knowing that the future of humanity would be decided in the next few days. But unlike the fearful aliens, humans faced the coming battle with quiet confidence. The greatest test was about to begin. Admiral Jack Donovan stood on the bridge of the EDS Indomitable, the most advanced ship humans had ever built. Through the view screen, he watched the stars blur as they traveled faster than light toward Khazar space. "We'll reach their military headquarters in 30 minutes, sir," reported the navigator, a young woman named Kelly West. Jack nodded. His ship led a fleet of 20 vessels, all using technology the aliens didn't know humans possessed. They had left the solar system behind, taking the fight directly to the enemy. "Status report from Earth?" he asked. "The Khazar attack fleet is still 3 days out," his communications officer replied. "Our defenses are ready." Jack turned as his second-in-command approached with a datapad. "Sir, Lieutenant Banks has discovered something in the captured files. You need to see this now." Lieutenant Heather Banks was waiting in the strategy room. Her face was pale, her eyes troubled. She had been analyzing data from the Titan base for days. "What did you find, Lieutenant?" Jack asked. "The truth about the Confederation's 3,000 years of peace," she said quietly. She activated the room's display system. "It was never real. The Khazar have been eliminating potential rivals all along." The screen showed a map of the galaxy with dozens of red dots spread across it. Each dot represented a planet. "These were all home worlds of developing intelligent species," Heather explained. According to these records, the Khazar have wiped out 42 different alien civilizations over the last 3 millennia. Jack stared at the screen. Are you certain? The evidence is clear, sir. They disguised the genocides as natural disasters or civil wars. The other Confederation species never knew. She brought up detailed files. The Khazar believe only certain species deserve to reach the stars. They judge each new civilization and destroy any they see as threats. And they judged us as a threat, Jack said, understanding now. Yes, sir, but we're the first species that was strong enough to fight back. Heather's voice grew stronger. We aren't just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for all the civilizations they murdered. Jack was silent for a long moment. This changed everything. The war wasn't just about human survival anymore. He returned to the bridge and opened a channel to Earth. President Powell needed to know what they had discovered. The peace was a lie, he told her. The Khazar have been silently killing entire species for thousands of years. The president's face showed shock, then resolve. This information needs to reach the other Confederation species immediately. They need to know what they've been part of. Agreed. We'll continue with our mission to cripple their military command. But this war just became something bigger. As Jack ended the call, alarms sounded across the ship. Khazar vessels detected, shouted the sensor officer. They know we're coming. Battle stations, Jack ordered calmly. Activate phase shields. The Indomitable and its fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Ahead of them floated a massive space station surrounded by Khazar warships. They have twice our numbers, Kelly reported. Numbers don't matter when they can't hit us, Jack replied. Commence attack pattern Delta. The human ships shifted into their phase state, becoming partly out of sync with normal space. Khazar weapons fired but passed harmlessly through them. On the main Khazar command ship, Supreme Commander Vroktar watched in growing horror as the human vessels approached, immune to their defenses. Impossible, he growled. No species should have this technology. His aide approached nervously. Commander, we're receiving messages from the Orvani and 3 other Confederation species. They're demanding explanations about the human evidence. Vroktar ignored him. His eyes were fixed on the advancing human ships. For the first time in his long life, he felt fear. The humans had discovered the truth, and now they were coming for justice. General Peter Ramirez looked at the massive holographic display showing the final battle. Earth forces were joined by ships from 4 former Confederation species. Together, they surrounded the Khazar Central Command world. All units in position, reported his aide. Peter nodded. He had been planning this attack for weeks. It was the most complex military operation in human history. Over 200 ships moved in perfect coordination, closing in on the Khazar homeworld and its defenses. Status of the enemy fleet, he asked. Scattered and disorganized. They didn't expect us to have allies. The Orvani ships hit them hard from behind. On the command deck of the lead Orvani vessel, Captain Silara watched the human ships with respect. Just weeks ago, she had believed humans were dangerous primitives. Now she fought alongside them against the true enemy. The humans fight with honor, she told her crew. Unlike the Khazar, who lied to us for centuries. The Allied fleet pushed forward against weakening resistance. The Khazar had lost most of their ships in earlier battles. Their remaining forces fought desperately, but without hope. Inside the Khazar Central Command, Supreme Commander Vroktar watched his empire crumble. His plans had failed. The humans had not only survived, but had turned his own allies against him. Prepare the Star Killer, he ordered. If we fall, Earth falls with us. Deep beneath the surface of the command world, Khazar engineers activated their ultimate weapon. It had never been used before. It was designed to trigger a supernova, destroying entire solar systems. Target. Sol, Vroktar commanded. Destroy the human homeworld. On the EDS Indomitable, now leading the final assault, Admiral Donovan received an urgent message from Earth. Their long-range sensors had detected a massive energy buildup on the Khazar world. They're activating some kind of super weapon, the message warned. Energy signatures suggest it can affect stars directly. Find it and stop it, Donovan ordered. All ships focus fire on their central defense grid. We need to get through 'em now. Chief Engineer Maria Gonzalez was already working on a solution. In her lab on the Indomitable, she studied the readings from the Khazar weapon. It creates a subspace link to a star's core, she explained to her team. Then it destabilizes the fusion process. Earth's sun would explode within hours. Can we stop it? Asked her assistant. Maria looked up, her eyes bright with sudden inspiration. Not stop it. Contain it. She rushed to contact Admiral Donovan. Sir, I need a team and a ship. I think I can use our phase technology to isolate the weapon's effect. Minutes later, Maria and a small team flew toward the Khazar world in a fast, stealthy vessel. They slipped past the battle, heading for the coordinates where the Starkiller was located. The weapon is powering up, warned her pilot. We have less than 10 minutes. On Earth, people watched the sky with fear. Scientists had detected the strange energy reaching toward their sun. Defense systems were at maximum, but no one knew if they would be enough. Maria's ship landed near the massive Khazar facility. Her team raced inside, fighting through surprise guards. When they reached the central chamber, the Starkiller was already glowing with terrible energy. Now, Maria shouted, activating the device she had created. It used humanity's dimension-phasing technology in a new way. Around the Starkiller, space itself seemed to fold and twist. The weapon fired, its beam of destruction lashing out toward Earth's sun. But instead of traveling across space, the energy curved back on itself, trapped in a pocket dimension. What have you done? Demanded a Khazar scientist. Created a temporal loop, Maria explained, even as her team secured the facility. Your weapon is firing forever, but in a space between spaces. It will never reach its target. Above, the Allied fleet broke through the last defenses. The Khazar command center fell silent as General Ramirez's forces surrounded it. Victory was within reach, but the revelations of the Khazar's crimes had changed everything. This was no longer just a war for survival. It was a war for justice. 6 months had passed since the fall of the Khazar. On a clear summer day, representatives from 27 spacefaring species gathered in a grand hall built specifically for this historic moment. The location was symbolic: the plains of Africa, where human civilization had first begun millions of years ago. Jack Donovan, now retired from active service, watched from his seat near the back. His hair had more gray now, the result of stress more than age. He had led humanity's forces through the most challenging war in history, and now he was content to watch others shape the peace. At the center of the hall stood Lisa Wright, her commander's uniform replaced by the formal dress of an ambassador. 6 months ago, she had been the first to receive the alien declaration of war. Today, she would be the one to sign the treaty creating the new alliance. The Galactic Union, Lisa said, her voice carrying through the hall, will not be founded on fear or deception, but on mutual respect and protection. The alien representatives nodded in agreement. The Orvani, Tellurians, and others who had broken away from the Confederation stood proudly beside newer arrivals, species that had been developing in secret, hiding from the Khazar threat. We pledged to share knowledge, not hoard it, Lisa continued, to defend the right of all intelligent life to reach the stars without fear. One by one, the representatives came forward to sign the document. Each used their own traditional methods. Some pressed handprints, others used complex digital signatures, and a few species that lacked hands used other appendages dipped in ink. When all had signed, a cheer went up that seemed to shake the building. The 3,000-year shadow of the Khazar was finally lifted from the galaxy. Later that evening, Lisa slipped away from the celebration. She walked to a small hill where a memorial had been built. It honored those who had died in the war, humans and aliens alike. Though humanity's casualties had been light compared to what they had feared, each loss still hurt. As she stood before the gleaming stone monument, Lisa found herself smirking, just as she had when she first received the war declaration. "Something funny, Ambassador?" asked a voice behind her. She turned to see Jack Donovan approaching slowly. "Just thinking about irony," she replied. "The Khazar declared war because they feared what humanity might become. In doing so, they created exactly what they feared most, a humanity that united the stars against them." Jack nodded. "Fear often creates what it tries to prevent." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment before Jack spoke again. "Have you heard about the deep space mission findings?" he asked. Lisa nodded. "The evidence of extinct civilizations, the ones the Khazar destroyed." "Not just evidence," Jack said. "Dr. Martins believes we might be able to bring some of them back. Their genetic material, preserved in deep ice on their homeworlds. With our biotechnology, we might restore species that were wiped out centuries ago." Lisa's eyes widened. That would be the ultimate justice. As the sun set, they walked back toward the celebration. The new Galactic Union faced enormous challenges. The former Khazar worlds needed new governments. Dozens of developing species required protection as they grew. And somewhere, perhaps, the remnants of ancient civilizations waited to be reborn. "What will you do now?" Lisa asked the former admiral. "I've been offered a position leading the restoration project," Jack replied. "It seems fitting. After a lifetime preparing for war, I'll spend my remaining years bringing life back." In the distance, ships from 24 worlds hovered peacefully in the sky above the gathering. Their lights twinkled like new stars. The war that had been meant to end humanity had instead given birth to something greater, a new era of cooperation that would reshape the galaxy. And it had all started with a declaration of war, and a human who had simply smirked at the challenge. The 3,000-year peace had been a lie. But the peace that would follow now might last even longer. And this time, it would be real.